What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? It's April Dawn. I'm here to do my season 1 Shots Fired episode 9 review. This episode was called Come to Jesus. I just want to say last week I didn't do a review because, y'all, nothing happened. Nothing happened other than she beat up Lieutenant Breland and her and Preston hunched. And it was cute because he was like, wait. And she was like, and he was like, look at me, Ash. Look at me. And she was like, look at me, Ash. And then they was like, and that was the best part of the whole thing. Dark chocolate and caramel. And I was here for it. Okay? But that's it. That ain't nothing else happen. Ain't nothing else happen. So this gonna be, I think this is a limited series, guys. So this is gonna be the last 2 episodes. There's not gonna be a season 2 or anything. And I kind of feel like that's for the best. Because I'm just gonna be honest with you. The majority of the series has been frustrating, because this is what real life is like. Things happen but nothing happens. Okay, they take 2 steps forward and 3 steps back, like the whole season. So this episode was pretty good. Some things happened. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started, because this is gonna be a good one. So Preston and Ash are doing it with each other. Dun, 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 dun. They hunching. Okay, so it was cute too, because it was to permission, and I was turned on. I was watching. I don't know if you was watching, but I was looking. Okay, so it was cute. And you know, they say the new people coming in 2 days, so they're gonna get the people together. You know, he all in it, and she like, don't be getting sprung. You know, I know just I'm like, girl, if you don't stop, girl, stop. Okay, you ain't had nobody looking in your eyes in 15 years, girl, stop it. So you know you happy to get that little young thing fresh out of law school, but I digress. Okay, so anywho, he said they're going to catch the bad guys together. So on the news, they see the video footage of of Jesse getting pulled over by Lieutenant Beck or Officer Beck. And so she says, well, how did this get released? So we figure out, okay, on the last episode, at the end of the episode, when he went to get the phone out, that's what he was doing. He was releasing it to his network. So now the footage is all over the TV. So he did this, and he wasn't supposed to do this, obviously, but he did it because he wanted to get some more attention. And I don't know if now we're going with Lieutenant Beck killed the boy or whatever, because it looks like he killed him. He snatched him out of the door, snatched the boy out of the car, and we can't see what happened. Unless there's another reveal for us, it looks really bad for Lieutenant Beck at this point. So Preston is the one who has released this. So now we're coming to the moms that are friends. Okay, so now they become friends. The mama just been at the house. She just been chilling for like a week. Okay, like what's good? No, it's only been a day or two, because it's, a days at a time. So she been over there for a few days at this point. So they're watching the news too, and the mom is upset. So the other mother comforts her. Joey's mother comforts her and says, your memories you have of your child, people can't take away. So I'm glad they formed a little bond. It's kind of messed up that this is what brought them together, but they are together. And so that's one good thing that has come out of this horrible situation, right? So Breland, daughter, he's taking his daughter to school. She briefly asks him why his face is jacked up, because Ash beat that in the last episode. So he just kind of brushes it off and say he got into a little conflict at work. It's no big deal. The daughter is like, okay, kinda, like, I know something is up, and it is what it is. So Ash goes to meet with the cop. She goes to the bar to meet with the cop that pulled her over that night when Breland, wrote her up on those fake assault and police officer charges. And she tries to get this cop to talk. So basically, the way she do it is just like, you in a cop bar with a whole bunch of cops, girl. He gonna say, no, he like, you don't have to live here, and I heard y'all getting replaced. So it didn't work, because God knows they're getting replaced in a couple of days. So he like, what's gonna happen to my protection, then? So, it seemed like he might have been willing to talk, but, he was like, I ain't gonna have no protection when you leave, and y'all leaving, word is on the street, okay, that y'all getting replaced, and you can't help me. Anyway, so that didn't really work for her. So, and then we go to Preston is meeting with Beck and his lawyer, and they're discussing, what's going on. Basically, why you have me here? He says, okay, well, I have you here because he pulls out a folder, drops it on the table. In this folder is all the records from the tours, the arrests, everything that goes on with them. So the officers, the deputies that they have supposed to get, certified with a certain amount of hours of training, and they're all supposed to have like weapons training so that they can carry a police issued firearm. They did not receive that training. They were carrying their own personal weapons, and they falsified the documents after this young man got shot. So they went back to try to clean it up or whatever. So he has the real documents, and he's been having those for a couple of months. Now, obviously, he wants to deal for those, for that information. They want him to look leniently upon this situation, I guess. But Preston did say, but you killed this boy or whatever. So I think we're going with the whole, you know, he's guilty and, you know, he did this on purpose, on accident, on purpose. I don't know. But so Beck's gonna use this to, you know, trying to wager himself a deal. Yeah, so the governor, now we're with Governor Emmons. Governor Emmons is meeting with her assistant, and basically she's telling the assistant that she talked to Arlen Cox, and they're going to redirect the money for the education fund to move it to the rebuilding fund for after the riots, and they're sacrificing this education program that we've spent half the season defending, okay? So I'm just like, this is kind of weird that she would just abandon it at the drop of a dime, but she said something got to go, you know, I'm rebuilding the city, you know, that was torn down or whatever, something has to go. It was a hard sell anyway. So the assistant obviously is pleading her case towards her. What about Sean Campbell? We're going to have to take him out of that school. You know, we promised him this X, Y, and Z, and you know, the governor is basically like, girl, it is what it is. You know, like I said, something has to go. We got to rebuild the town, okay? And that's it. So Preston and Emmons, because she's meeting with Preston, he comes and joins them. And basically she's saying, you know, now that the video was released, we know that Officer Beck was going to be arrested shortly. Am I correct? And he's like, we're still looking over things with the case. So basically he tells her everything that's going on with the tours. You know, he knows there's corruption. He has proof. He has name. He has dates. He has everything. And so she's like, okay, well, if you have all the information, you know, I'm going to handle my business, you know, do what we need to do. And so, you know, he's off. Yeah, so Ash and Breland, they meet up, and he tells her that he respects her, you know, basically for beating him up. Like, you fight dirty, you know what I'm saying, but I respect your mind or whatever. It is what it is. And so basically they just go back and forth. She tries to get him to talk and says, I know you know about the falsified records. I know you know what's going on. You think these people not going to make you the fall guy? They going to make you the fall guy when this thing happened, because you was the lieutenant or whoever that was on duty. I don't want to say lieutenant, captain, whatever. Y'all tell me what it is. Okay, I think it's lieutenant. That was on duty at the time. And, you know, you're the one who's going to end up taking the fall for this, okay? You out here protecting people that's not going to protect you, okay? So, you know what, and he was like, you know, well, we all do what we got to do. And then he makes like a shot about her kid. Of course, you know, her losing her child, possibly losing her child. And she like, you know, ever since I beat you up the other day, like last night when I beat you up, I don't even care. Like, your little threats don't even bother me no more. And he was like, well, you know, we all do what we got to do. And, you know, he's trying to play hard. But you can tell at this moment, he getting a little worried. You know, he a little scared, okay? So after that, he meets with Arlen Cox. And Arlen Cox is basically like, you know, is everything squared away? You know, I know they got my gun or whatever. They found out the gun was traced back to me. And he was like, nah, it's all good. Don't worry about it, whatever. So after this, Ash goes to the jail. She goes to meet with Pastor Janae, who is still locked up. And, you know, she reassures her that she's going to get everything cleared up. And Pastor Janae, and she says, you know, have faith. And Pastor Janae says, what about your faith? And then they ask to pray together. I thought that was a nice moment. It was a nice calm moment through all the, you know, ridiculousness that going on. Because at that moment, Ash probably needed that little prayer to help her to continue going, okay? And so Breland and Pratt meet up together, and they discuss, you know, what has happened. Basically, at the beginning of the scene, you think he's talking about Beck, because he's like, I did it long enough. You know, I helped as long as I could. I held out as long as I could. But, you know, this person right here, I protected them because they was family, but he's not family. He's not family. And so you think that he's talking about like a white police officer or another police officer, and then he's talking about Beck is not family, but then he says Arlen Cox. So we're like, uh-oh. Okay, so now he's spilling the tea like, okay, I don't want to protect him no more. He's not a part of the police department. And then Pratt basically tells him, look, you was the lieutenant on duty. Just everything that Ash just told him, like, they're going to let you take the fall for it. He like, you was the lieutenant on duty. You was the commanding officer. You was going to, you know, you was in charge of all of this. And not all of this is for his child. So guess what's going to happen if you open your mouth? We need to protect each other. You know what I'm saying? That means shut up, because you're going to go to jail too. So you already know from that scene, homeboy gonna start spilling the beans, because he ain't got time to be going to jail, okay? Because he got his little daughter or whatever. So it was cute. Okay, and finally, they getting you know, they chickens coming to roost. Yeah, chickens or hens. Which one? They coming to roost, okay? Yeah. So anyway, Pratt. Pratt goes to his son graduation from the academy from the police academy. Him and the son like hate him. I don't know. It basically the son going to this diatribe about how, you know, after he became the sheriff, you know, his job was so hectic. He needed everything to be peaceful, so the boy couldn't do nothing. He couldn't talk too loud. And he probably just didn't have no relationship with his father. It sounds like when he was gone most of the time, and when he was home, he didn't really deal with him at all. And the dad said something about the job being a blessing and a curse. And the boy was like, if you don't get out of my face, I'm finna throw up. Basically, and, you know, in so many words, like, I'm gonna puke if I have to keep listening to you, you know, talk. So him and his son's relationship is really messed up. Really messed up. And I think, you remember earlier in the season when he said, make sure you tell, when he was talking to the wife and he said, make sure you tell the son that, you know, you the one who wants to leave, not me. I think maybe he thinks his son is mad about that, but his son is really upset about the way that he treated the mom and him during the relationship. And he not mad at the mama for leaving. He mad at you for being stupid, okay, and not doing what you were supposed to do as a father or whatever. So, child, I don't really care, but you know, it is what it is. So, Ash, Preston, and Breland meet up with, and his lawyer, and Breland's lawyer meet up. Breland wants to talk, and he wants a deal. So, then Preston and Ash get in an argument because, you know, Ash is still upset about what he did to her, how he tried to intimidate her, threaten her, you know, and all of this stuff. So, she feel like he shouldn't have a deal, and Preston feels like, you know, it's a negotiation that he need to let the DOJ know so that they can, you know, make a negotiation. So, obviously, he tells the big guy at the DOJ, the big guy says, make the deal. What do you mean? You have Breland, he gonna spill everything, it's gonna be locked shut, you know what I'm saying? Make the deal. The new people are gonna come down and take over and finish the case, and it's done with. Y'all did a great job. Boom. So obviously Ash is very upset. She's like, we're not going to let it go down like this or whatever. And he's like, well, how are we going to change it? She said, well, what are we going to do? Or he said, what are we going to do? And she's like, somebody else needs to talk before Breland talks so that, you know, his deal can be null and void. So Ash goes to visit Arlen Cox at his office and basically gives him a warning that, you know, you need to watch your back because it's about to go down, okay? Like, maybe you should say something, you know, before anything, say something, you know, you need to stop living a lie, something like that, you know. That's what he said, but I don't remember her saying that, actually. So, but whatever. She gave him a little warning about what's going on. So, now we're with, yeah. And so, we're with, so Breland and his daughter are like at a football field, you know, empty football field because, you know, Breland is a football coach. And so they presented his character. It probably is the most interesting on the show because he does have some racist views and ways. But then, you know, the black boy was in his house. Obviously, you know, he can see a person for who they are in some instances, but he probably still has some very broad prejudices and, you know, racist views about some things or whatever. Or maybe he just got off track because he got that, you know, police mind and, you know, you seeing this one type of person all the time. I don't know. But his character is pretty interesting to me. I can say that. More interesting than any other character, I would say. So because he loves his daughter. I can't even say, like, it's very authentic and it's genuine and it comes across the screen that he loves his daughter and he does not want her to be, like, you know, jaded or, like, racist or, like, you know what I'm saying? He don't want her to, like, be a certain way or making her be a certain way. He lets her be who she is. So he can't be, you know, 100% evil, but he's not a good person either. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, okay, but I'll get into that later. So he tells his daughter everything. He confesses to his daughter everything, the whole plot, episode 1 through 8, child. He go through the whole recap. For his daughter, lets her know they trying to make him take the fall, you know, X, Y, and Z. What happened in Joey Campbell's murder that night? He says they thought it was a drug deal going, and then so they put their lights on. He started running. They chased him, and then Arlen Cox shot him. Well, he didn't say Arlen Cox. He just said he got shot. And, you know, she asked did he shoot him. He did not shoot him, but he helped cover it up. And now, you know, everything is coming out, and he going to have to take the fall or whatever. So he's telling, and he not about to let that go down. So, you know, he tells his daughter, he gives her a hug and tell her, you know, some things are going to change, you know, in my job and maybe at home too. So, you know, like he's trying to prepare his daughter for the situation that's at hand, okay? So, Preston and Ash turn in the case. They turn over the case to the new people. I'm sorry, y'all. Preston and Ash turn over the case to the new team that's coming in. And, you know, Preston and Ash, you know, they got a little attitude. You know, Ash got a little attitude or whatever. So they take him out to meet Breland to talk about the deal. When they talk about it, the new team offers up a full immunity deal, which Ash is not happy about at all. You know, and Preston, they try to talk to the other people. They say, look, we want to maximize our, you know, potential to get all the information we can. We're going to give him the immunity deal. It is what it is, and boom. So, my bad. I had stuff all turned around, y'all. This is when Ash says, we got to make somebody else talk before he talks. Okay, and then she goes to visit Arlen Cox and all of that. So I'm sorry about that. I had that order all switched around. So Beck and his friend, the other police officer that's his best friend, they meet up and they're doing something to the house, helping him with the house. And they basically talk about everything that's going on. And, you know, Beck just expresses that he's tired of, you know, worry about people who ain't supporting him. Basically, he's tired of trying to, you know, cape for people who don't care nothing about him. And, you know, the guy asked him about, oh, do you feel about the backlash and all this and that? And he said, I don't care no more. I got my kids and my wife and yada yada. And then I got a bachelor party to plan. So he tells him, the white boy tells him, hey, you know, her dad, Anna's dad, is putting his foot down, and, you know, he says no, and then Anna says, no, I'm working on Anna, or whatever. So you can tell he was really, really hurt, and he picks up the speech back, picks up his speech, and he reads his speech to his friend, and then he said, well, you know, maybe the new guy could use it, and then he threw it down and he left or whatever. Like, I really feel like the friend is low-key a punk, because it's like, you try to put it on Pastor Janae, and then now you just punking out. You're not like a friend. You're not like a real friend. I just don't really, like, he like a, you know, somebody that's like an ally, but they don't really like want to put themselves, they don't want to make no decision one way or the other because they don't want to be looked at a certain way. You know what I mean? So, because my thing is, I don't know, y'all. I don't really care for his character. Yeah, I don't think he's a good friend for Beck. So, I think that's becoming evident to Beck, okay, as well. So, Arlen has a press conference and confesses to the crime, y'all. He confesses it, but he says that he reached for his department issue gun and taser, but he thought it was a taser, but it was a gun, and he shot the boy in. You know, then he dragged Breland. You know, Breland was on duty and they covered it up, and he left the boy out there. Oh, I forgot to say, when Breland confessed, he said that after they, you know, decided to cover it up, they just left the boy out there, and then later on, Breland came back that night and saw him. He was still out in the street, and he called it in as a homicide. So that's how they covered it up, or tried to cover it up, or whatever. So anyway, he says, you know, you left the boy and then you let Pastor Janae go to jail for a crime, you know, you knew all the information about. So basically they just threw Breland under the bus, you know, and like I said, Ash was behind that because she didn't want Breland to have the deal because of what he's done to her and threatened her, intimidated her, or whatever. So at this point, Breland is just like, child, he's upset. He comes through and he's like, Ash, I know you had something to do with this, and she didn't say nothing or whatever, and he just walked away. But I mean, hey, like he said, we do what we have to do. She did what she had to do. It is what it is. So he goes around on an apology tour, child. He goes to the houses. They throwing rocks at him, and the son punched him in the face. He don't even do nothing, child. He just walk in the car and be like, what's that episode of no, what's that movie, y'all, with Denzel watching, like, Training Day? At the end, when the people gang up on him, and King Kong ain't got nothing on me. King Kong ain't got nothing on me. Boy, I can put cases on all you bitches. I'm gonna put cases on all you. So, it wasn't like that, though. He was, like, all sad. It was an apology tour, child. He just walked back to the car just sad, you know, and drove off. It was pitiful. It was pitiful. It was pitiful. So, yeah, his deal is null and void because Breland makes his way through the crowd, you know, after he talked to Ash, and he basically said, you know, to the lady, like, okay, when we ready to talk. And she like, look, we ain't signed no paperwork. We don't need you. So after that, he went on an apology tour because he was saying he know it's over for him now, okay, because they done threw him up under the bus, child, up and rolled up and put it in reverse and backed up over him. So the governor goes to the assistant. Hold up, let me make sure. Yeah, the governor... calls the governor and her assistant have a little argument or whatever about the whole situation that's going on because still with the education thing. No, it was something else too that happened, y'all. I can't remember why they was going back and forth the second time. But anywho, she gave this whole speech about, well, if I do this, everything, if I don't get elected again, everything I've done will be undone or whatever. You can really see that Emmons is like a really selfish, or she a politician. That's what she is. She a politician. She do what's going to be in her best interest most of all. She's worried about herself getting elected, not really worried about helping the people. So whatever she think is going to get her elected is what she going to go with. So the girl, she finally realized that the assistant, and she decides she just quits right there. And so let me see. The lawyer calls Ash. Ash has lost her daughter. She lost the case. I forgot to say one thing. When Breland, one more thing. Before the apology tour, or after, right before he started the apology tour, he he pulled out the file. He was going to call CPS on Ash, but he changed his mind, and he decided to burn her file. So he burned the whole file and got rid of it. So he had to have anything to do with Ash losing her daughter, but obviously she thinks that he did. So she goes to Preston. She's crying. She's just, frustrated. I know he had something to do with this or whatever. So she leaves and says, I need to be alone. At the same time, Breland is coming, back to his house, and he's walking in the house. He's very defeated. He's very upset. And so what happens is a car drives up to him, and the window is down. Pop, pop, shoots him twice in the chest, and the show goes off. So what's interesting to me, I think he had a bulletproof vest on, because I think early in the episode I saw when he was walking out of a room that he had a vest on. So I don't think that he's going to be dead, guys. I think that he's going to be, he gonna be injured. But next week we'll see what happens. Okay, I don't think I missed anything. Yeah, twice in the chest. Yeah, so I think that's it, guys. So it was a pretty good episode this week. Like I said, next week is the season finale, or the series finale. So we'll see what happens and how they wrap it all up or whatever. I don't know about Preston and Ash together. It's kind of weird to me, but I'm going to go with it, because he fine and she pretty. So, I'm just going to go with it. I feel like, I don't know if they're going to be able to get it's something else that we don't know. Okay, that's going on. There's one more thing that we don't know, and I don't know what that is, but it's one more thing that we don't know. So that's that's gonna be interesting to find out this week. But yeah, all in all, it was a pretty good episode this week. I enjoyed it. Let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share my videos. Like I said, thank you guys for your support. I love to hear your thoughts and ideas. If I said something wrong or gave some wrong information, don't feel free to correct me. I don't have a problem with correction, child, because sometimes I do miss stuff. But y'all have a blessed week. I'll see you later. Peace.